Fox News just humiliated Donald Trump on accident in the most beautiful way. Now, today marks Donald Trump's 100th day in office, and he is out there along with his supporters trying to spin his disaster of an administration into a great success. Well, Fox News took part in that, and they put this graphic up. Take a look at this. Here are the accomplishments they came up with. Declassifying the JFK files, which is nothing. Ending federal support for paper straws, and ending production of the penny. Imagine a president's first 100 days in office, and those are the items you feel you should put forward as his success. And Donald Trump is going to see this, and he is going to absolutely lose it, because he knows his supporters are going to look at that and cheer it on, but anybody who has any sense at all is going to look at that and laugh and say, my gosh, what has this guy actually done? Donald Trump's disaster of an administration has been on full display, and he is trying desperately to spin it, and Fox News is not helping.
I know you told me you voted for President Trump. What were you hoping that he would do?
I was hoping he would did something that made sense regarding the economy, made some kind of progress in bettering, the benefits of being a veteran. But I mean, it just seemed like he actually cared about doing what was best for the country, but now it just feels like all about me, Donald Trump, not, the guy out there working in the trenches trying to make ends meet, trying to pay a mortgage, trying to pay the bills. It goes against everything I expected when, I voted for him.
So you're not satisfied with what you see?
No. And it doesn't even have to do with anything about me getting fired. I mean, if I had gotten fired as part of the, government, cutting government spending, I would have been fine with that. I can accept that. But he's not delivering on anything he said he was going to do. So what's your real game plan? It doesn't make sense to me.
There are some things that he promised to do that he has put in place. I mean, there are executive orders that he's done, that he said that he was going to do. You don't feel like he's lived up to those promises?
I mean, where are the results? I mean, seriously, prices are still going up. We're now in the middle of a tariff war with a bunch of countries that used to be our steadfast allies. I mean, how do you make an enemy of Canada? They're right next to us, and they've been one of our premier allies and commerce partners for, seriously, centuries now?
And he did say that he was going to put tariffs in place. Did you just not think that they would be implemented in this particular way?
I didn't think they were going to be put in play in a juvenile way. I mean, where was the attempt to actually talk to the heads of these other countries like, hey, I feel you have unfair tariffs against our products. I'd like to talk about it first. And if we can't work out some kind of resolution, then I feel to protect our people, we need to implement this kind of tariff. There was no attempt at even talking to the other countries.
Dictator! Liar! Dictator! Liar! Liar! Dictator! Dictator! Liar!
I'm pulling up to where Trump is right now in Macomb Community College. It's like a half a mile from my house. There's protesting across the street, and then let's just take a look. Oh, they have the road closed off. I've never seen that before, and he's been here like a few times. There's so many protesters. Woo! Hell yeah. Ew. Those poor people. Let's see what some of these signs say. Hell yeah. Gives me some faith in the world again. Because Macomb County has been a cesspool since I moved back here last year. But there's still some good people around. It makes me happy. Look at this. Woo! Oh, he's pissed. Woo! Hell yeah. Good. I wish I could just drive around and see like how many cars are in the parking lot. I wonder how many people are at the rally today. I can't wait to look it up later.
We are 100 days into the Trump dystopian nightmare, so I'm going to give you 100 seconds of Donald Trump fails. Now, that's not a lot of time considering how many fails he's delivered, so let's fucking go. Right off the bat, he violated the Constitution by trying to invalidate birthright citizenship with a press release. He then illegally created Doge with another press release, then realized he couldn't create a department without Congress, so he let Doge take over the United States digital service, and fake renamed it the United States Doge Service, and said Elon Musk was its leader, even though that was illegal, so he lied and then unlied and then lied again for weeks until they made up a new leader for Doge so they'd have a legal employee to scapegoat in the myriad lawsuits pending. Musk then illegally fired and rehired once he found their email addresses half the people they illegally fired, and the rest of their codified negligence is tied up in court. While Musk's $2 trillion in proposed cuts was reduced to $1 trillion, then reduced to $150 billion, then reduced to $4 billion, which is 0.2% of his original goal and only 10% of the tax dollars paid to Musk in federal contracts since his grift first began. Next, Trump said he was going to use tariffs to rebuild American manufacturing jobs, and he actually got some union endorsements for this, but then he rolled them all back or paused them and rewrote history saying this was just the art of the deal. But the deal was supposed to be to create jobs. Instead, his tariffs are costing us jobs, costing us economic growth, and oh yeah, since tariffs are import taxes paid by American business, we're literally using money from Trump inflation to buy job cuts for our friends and neighbors so we can lie and say the money is coming from foreign governments. And this is all going to destroy our GDP because like a snake trying to eat itself tail first to grow itself, you can't grow the economy by feeding the economy to itself. Now the last one is the worst one because Trump said he was going to mass deport 20 million people, which is focus camp level shit, but he couldn't do that because that kind of thing takes too much work, so he just started deporting people randomly to see what happened. As will happen with idiots, he shot the bed right out of the gate, deporting a legal resident and father of a special needs child, resulting in a 9-0 Supreme Court smackdown where even free Cruz, Clarence, and Stop This Steal Samuel said no. But because Trump is like a kid who in response to burning his hand on a hot stove climbs directly into the hot stove and turns the knob to 550 degrees, he then deported a 2-year-old U.S. citizen battling metastatic cancer, a sentence I would have never thought to be possible on any plane in the infinite multiverse because not only is it insanely illegal by constitutional law, case law, and immigration law, it is absolutely fucking abhorrent behavior by any social, cultural, or universal moral standard. Donald is an abomination of a human being, and he's an even worse president. He signed more executive orders in 100 days than any president in American history, despite controlling every lever of power. He's violated court orders more than any other president in American history, despite having a 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court. And he's deported more American citizens than any president in American history, despite his promise to voters to deport only undocumented violent criminals. In 100 days, he has the worst approval rating in 100 years because he's attacking our economy, our businesses, our workers, our citizens, our Constitution, and our courts, breaking everything and fixing nothing. Now, this is just for Donald. Donald, you are the worst president in American history, and you are one of the worst humans in American history. You deserve nothing that has been given to you, and I cannot wait until you are impeached one more time, because Donald, you know what they say. The third time's the charm.
Trump is coming to Michigan to celebrate his first 100 days in office, but has he kept any promises to Michiganders? Lower grocery prices, day one. Nope. Bring back Michigan jobs? No. Unemployment's up in the state. No tax on tips? No. No tax on overtime? Not a chance. Any tax cuts? Well, sure, if you're wealthy. What about the promise to bring back manufacturing? Nope. Sorry. Of every state in the US, his tariffs hit Michigan the hardest, especially our auto industry. I wonder how he's going to spend that one to the workers still anti-slayed off in Macomb. You know, the city he's having his celebration rally in. But hey, he's kept some promises, the ones based in cruelty anyway. Trump is plowing ahead with deportations, even when that means disappearing immigrants in Detroit. And over 70 students in Michigan have had their visas revoked. Yeah, really helping the average American here. So, what exactly is Trump here to celebrate?
Donald Trump's first 100 days of his second term are coming and going, and we have whooped his butt. He's been so busy terrorizing the immigrant community and getting stymied in the courts that he's gone back to indicting judges like he did in his first term, because he has failed to deliver in any measurable way. His first 100 days is a failure by any historical or modern metric. He has passed 5 pieces of legislation through a Congress in which he holds the majority of both houses. That is a historical low for a president in their first 100 days, going all the way back to World War II and maybe beyond that, but I got bored of looking. Of those 5 bills, one was a continuing resolution he only got through because Chuck Schumer let him. The other was a Lake and Riley Act that was negotiated during Joe Biden's presidency. And 3 were just congressional review pieces of legislation to overturn some Biden-era regulations. He has done jack all legislatively. Reminder that I keep track of all of this legislation he's trying to push through in my Substack, link in bio. He has been sued 186 times in his first 100 days. So far, to compare, Biden was only sued about 50 and Obama was sued 30. Courts have issued 15 or more national injunctions, again, I got bored of looking, against the Trump administration in its first 100 days, more than Obama, Biden, and W. He promised to end the war in Ukraine on day 1. All he's managed to do is admit that Putin is stringing him along. His economic policy has been a complete and abject failure. He claims he's negotiated with 200 countries. There are only 195. No country has come out saying that he's made a deal with them. 0. Doge has walked back its claims about how much money it saved us to $160 billion. It's costing $135, and that is before the lawsuits. Democrats are overperforming in their special elections as a result and stopped him and Musk from being able to buy a Wisconsin Supreme Court seat. And all of that has culminated in him having the lowest 100-day approval rating in 80 years. And all of that happened because of y'all. Because we make calls, we make noise, we push back, we protest. Democrats make good goalies. Keep it up.
It's not America first when you deport a 4-year-old American child with metastatic brain cancer without medications and without any consultations with her doctors to ensure continuity of care. Nor can you claim to be the party of family values when you intentionally separate a woman married to an American citizen from her breastfeeding child who suffers from a seizure disorder back to her home country while she was attending a routine ICE appointment, which she attended because she wanted to do the right thing in order to get her green card. Nor do you get to claim that you care about the future for American children's lives when a 2-year-old American child was deported to Honduras when she had a place to stay in the United States. However, the father was told that if he attempted to pick her up from ICE custody, he would be deported. It's time that the party of America first and family values admits what this is actually about, which is white Americans first and brown people can leave.
So on Fox, they're talking about Trump's 100-day accomplishments. Let's look at what they're celebrating. They've got the JFK file, those wretched paper straws. And here's the kicker. They ended the production of the penny. Sounds like they're making America great again, right? Remember when they promised you $0 income taxes, $1 gas, and $2 eggs? And now all you've got is grasping at paper straws. Crazy.